So to kick off my very long walkthrough through what I know of astrology and what I've learned from Kapil Raja's simplistic Vedic astrology course, and also what I've learned from the Western side by my now past mentor, Russell. I'm going to actually start it all off by having a comparison between Sidereal Vedic, or known as Jyotish astrology, and Western tropical astrology. In actuality, the Western tropical really originated from the Vedic Sidreal Jyotish astrology, because the tropical was actually used originally by the Sidereal Vedic side to predict the weather, or to notice the weather and the seasons change, and also when animals were, doing it, if you catch my drift there. But in actuality, both systems can give accurate results. They're capable of it. Both can predict well. But then again, it all comes down to the person who's looking at the chart, looking at the aspects, looking at the conjunctions, looking at the house placement, looking at the sign placement, just all how the planets are interacting with one another. The Vedic side is heavily mathematically demanding, and there's a lot of calculations with it, and they also use the divisional charts, and we're talking the Hora chart, the D4 chart, the D9, the Vamsha, the D30, which is the one that shows somebody's afflictions, diseases, but also interactions with women. And there's also the D60 chart, which is the funneling and the overall summary of somebody's soul and that. So Vedic Sidereal relies on the divisional charts, mathematics, and also other mathematical points besides just the nodes. They also include Mundi. I'm trying to pronounce the other one. I can't pronounce it really off the top of my head because of the G though. But it's also, those are the two ghosts that are sons of Shani or Saturn. And usually with the Vedic Sidereal side, they only use up to Saturn. And everything beyond that they tend not to use, but nowadays people are starting to incorporate the outer planets into it, which can be done, but the traditional way is just up to Shani and then the other mathematical points. On the Western side, now we have a lot more. Usually we only stick to a regular chart, and then after that we also incorporate the synastry chart. The Vedic side can do synastry too. And then also doing a composite chart, which the Vedic side usually doesn't implement the composite side, but it can be done. And what I like to do, if I'm doing a synastry chart, I usually like to have the Western synastry chart and composite, and then take the Vedic side, make a synastry chart, and the composite chart with the Vedic placements, just to kind of get a general sense of that. So that way you can put it between the two people. But if you're going to be doing it for, say, just one person, it would probably be much better to do the Vedic side, actually hone in on them. But if you're wanting to do the synastry side and a composite side, I would suggest doing it the tropical side, so that way you can get the two people on the same end and then the composite down the middle. Because with the Vedic side, you're kind of focusing and honing in on one person, but don't get me wrong, you can do the Vedic side with the composite and the synastry chart too, you can. Though, what I've seen and I've tend to notice, the Jyotish is meant to actually help guide someone through somebody's life. It's more individual state for the Vedic side. The tropical can be a little bit more flexible. And on the Western side, they also include the asteroids, and we're talking like Chiron, Juno, Pallas Athena, Circes, to name a few. and the Vedic side usually doesn't incorporate them, but also the Western side also includes Black Moon Loth, and the other opposite side, I can't remember what that one's called, Selphine, I believe, or I'm not really sure. I saw it once and I'd never even studied it yet. But the Vedic side does include the nodes, which are Rahu and Ketu, which is the original terming, or the North Node and South Node on the Western side. So, in actuality, what I tend to notice, if you're wanting to actually look at somebody's life on an individual level, you want to use the Vedic side and the Sidereal side, the Jyotish side. That one is really meant to help look into somebody's life to gain a better understanding of them and how to help advise and guide them through their life and kind of foreshadow what they're going to be facing and they have to face. Western side is kind of more of a broadened way of doing somebody's chart and is a little bit more synastry friendly. But again, it all comes down to the person who's reading it. And what I'm going to be doing on my next video is I'm going to start off by showing the Vedic side, what the charts I know and I was taught how to read, which are the North Indian and the South Indian. I mean, there's also another one that's the East Indian, I believe, but I haven't tried reading that one. And then from there, I'll explain how to read also then the Western chart, which is the wheel. And the Vedic one, there's the one with the triangles and the trikona and the Kendra houses. That's the one I prefer to read at all. But I know how to do the Western one and the South Indian. And the South Indian is a square and then has like little squares up on the side. But I'll get into that when that video comes around. And then after, when I show the difference, like how to read both of the charts and show where everything's at, that's when I'm going to start going into each little specific point, like zodiac signs, go through all 12, and then the house signs, go through all 12. And then after that, we're then going to take the planets and then plop them in one house and a sign, go through all them for each one, then again, yeah, you get the gist. So this is going to be quite a long journey, and I'm going to try and do at least one video a day. I'm going to try. And also, when I have it up and running, I'm going to include the link to my Facebook page, which is Saturn Astrology. And it's called that because, one, that's actually the birth star I was born under, Saturn, or the nakshatra placement, which translates to the ear, or the ability to listen and be able to preserve handed down and sacred knowledge. It's also the 3 footsteps by Lord Vamana, but we'll get into that when I actually get to the placements and the whatnot. So, this was a kind of a little icebreaker for the astrology between Vedic and Western. Overall, there's no real difference between the two when it comes to terms to quality being capable of serving to somebody. But if you really want to go for somebody who is more of a, if you want to guide somebody, it's going to be more on the Vedic side. If you wanted to actually be more broadened between two people or even more, you want to use the Western side. So, I'll see you guys in the next video, and hope you're ready for this long journey.